What if the last 10 minutes of your day could completely transform your life? I'm sharing the exact evening routine that I have used for myself and for multiple clients to completely change their life. So, in this video, you're going to learn my 3 step process to align to your wish fulfilled before you drift off to sleep. Remember that when you're sleeping, that is when you are best primed to actually program your subconscious for the changes that you'd like to see. You can start to shift your state while you're sleeping. So, we're going to start with step one, which is the power of self appreciation and looking at your contributions. So, what I want you to remember is that your perception is truly what is shaping your life. What you're putting out, the concept that you hold of yourself, is what you're going to get back in. And so, by looking at the way that you contribute, looking at the things that you appreciate about yourself, you start to shift how you view yourself. You start to change the narrative in your head about your own self worth and the concept that you hold of yourself. I had a client recently who was really struggling to kind of see the positive about themselves each day. And so we began this process of just setting a timer for 3 to 5 minutes and making sure that they were spending time each day looking at the things they appreciated about themselves. Now, I have to tell you that at first they found it kind of difficult, but in time they started to really recognize the wonderful ways that they were contributing that they had not really considered before. So, some examples of this is by donating to a charity. That can make you feel good. You're giving back, right? So, if you're giving back to the world, you're contributing. And that also says something about you, and you can appreciate that about yourself. This is how you start to build actual self gratitude, feeling thankful for the things that you do and the person that you are. That's not fake, it's not forced, and it doesn't have to be like some faked feeling. So, a lot of times I hear from people that when they're trying to find gratitude or they're trying to talk about the things they appreciate about themselves and accept about themselves, they feel like they're having to be fake. And this actually takes that out of the equation because you're talking about things that you actually did. And it can be anything. You sent a nice text to a friend, you maybe worked on a project that you have for yourself. If you're even starting at the point that you're like, I don't know what I appreciate about myself today. How did you show up for you today? You watch this video, you're doing your self appreciation list. There's two right there, right? Maybe you took this video and you shared it with a friend that you think this could help. There's one right there. Maybe you sent your mom a text just to tell her good morning. There's another one. You should appreciate that about yourself. If you brushed your teeth today, that's one. You're showing up for you, you're taking care of yourself. You should definitely recognize and appreciate those things about yourself. Now, here's the thing, too. If that feels awkward, it's okay. Just start. You don't have to add the I appreciate this about myself. You can just start with a list. And if you don't like to use written form, I was talking to a client about that today, that she was like, sometimes at the night, I just don't want to write it out. So I've been doing it mentally. My next recommendation is to actually do a voice note as well, something that you can play back to yourself so that you can hear your own voice saying the things that you find wonderful about you and you appreciate about yourself. The second part is doing what I call an emotional treasure hunt. So I want you to think about your desired outcome. What is your wish fulfilled? What feeling would be the solution to what you're looking for? So if it's a relationship or a specific person, that may be love or desired. If it is doing better at work, it may be confidence or success or pride. So you're going to look back and say, what are the feelings that I am looking to generate? Set another timer for about 2 to 3 minutes and start finding ways that you already saw those feelings that day. So maybe you wore a new pair of jeans and you felt really good about that. That goes in your confidence bucket. Like, I felt confident about this. Maybe you produced something or created a piece of art that you feel really good about. That goes in your pride. And you can pick one or multiple feelings, but you're going to do the feeling treasure hunt. Go back through your day and actually find the ways that you felt that way. Remember, this is all about building a natural practice of gratitude. The purpose is to make sure that you're starting to generate the feelings of what you're seeking, right? And you're starting to pay attention to them. The more you tell your brain, pay attention to this feeling, the more it's going to come up for you over and over. You're going to start seeking it. And the more that you seek it, the more that you're going to receive it. The third step in this process is going to be setting intentions for your next day. Now, I always recommend to be extremely specific when you're setting your intentions. I want you to say when you're going to do it and what you're going to do. We all work from a habit loop. I'm going to put the habit loop up here. So we start with our cue. A cue is a trigger. So your trigger, your cue is going to be that you are going through this new evening routine. You're sitting down with your journal, you have your voice note, whatever it is, but you're going through this evening routine. That's your cue. Next is your routine. So the routine is going to be these 3 steps that I'm sharing with you. And then you'll go into a reward. Either you feel good, you get a hit of dopamine, or you can set one for yourself. Don't forget that. You can say, once I do this evening routine for 7 days in a row, I'm going to buy myself a new outfit. I'm going to take myself out for coffee. I'm going to go have lunch by the river. Whatever is a reward for you that feels good, you can set that for yourself and actually write it down somewhere. Stick it up and say, once I do this routine for a week, I'm going to reward myself with this. So then you're creating that habit loop. But your intentions are all going to be built into a habit loop as well. So you're going to look for a cue. So let's say you say that when you are brewing your coffee, that you are going to write out morning affirmations. So now you've got a cue, brewing the coffee, goes down to your routine, which is writing your affirmations. And then your reward is that you feel good and you're doing something for yourself that day. Or you could also put that when you first wake up, you're going to stay off your phone for an hour, and your reward is that you feel more motivated and productive for the day. Okay, so this is how you're going to do that. Now, some other things that you could do is say, like, while brushing my teeth, I'm going to do 10 squats. It's something, right? And you can start actually very small. Studies have actually shown that the smaller you start, the more likely you are to continue. So don't feel like any bit of effort in these intentions is too small. You can also do something of saying, like, I intend when I first wake up to reread or re listen to this 3 step process, which I highly recommend you do the next day. Listen to them, review them, go back over them. Our subconscious starts to manifest what you consistently tell it. That's how you dwell in a state. So when you want to change that, you need to consistently go back to this new state until it crowds out everything else. This is how you make sustainable changes in your life. It's not always going to be overnight. I'm not saying it can't be, but it's not always going to be overnight. So the more that you can consistently return to this, the better off you're going to be. Now, one of the most common obstacles that you may run into while doing this process is one that you're going to kind of want to slide back into your old habits, or you're going to start seeking ways to prove that this is working better for you. And I'm going to give you some examples and some ways to overcome this because we all are going to run into obstacles. So, one, give yourself some grace. That's just being human. That's the way that it goes. So, don't worry about it. We'll get it figured out. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to set up your environment to do this. So you can either put a sticky note beside your bed. I keep doing this because I've got a wall here and I put sticky notes on this wall all the time. So if you put a sticky note up that reminds you that you're going to do it, put it on your bathroom mirror. Start setting the intention that you're going to do this process, like either after you wash your face or after you do your, get into your pajamas or whatever it is. But you're going to set up a process for yourself to remind you, this is what I'm going to do. Setting these reminders and starting small is actually the best way for you to make sure that you can make the sustainable changes and actually pay attention the way that you want yourself to. It does not have to be something huge. It can actually be relatively small just by putting up a sticky note, just by doing a reminder, put it in your phone, do a checklist. Anything that makes you remember, oh yeah, I need that reminder, this cue, this trigger that I'm now going to go do this new process. Now, the other one I mentioned is seeking confirmation. Look, here's the thing. We are built to look for that confirmation. I want you to just give yourself a little bit of time and some trust that everything is going to start falling into place for you, especially when you're priming your mind over and over. The other thing is when you start seeking confirmation that it's actually working. A lot of times, I'm going to be honest with you, this comes from a desperation, like I need this to work. And I just want you to give yourself time. I don't want you to get frustrated with yourself. I just want you to keep returning to the process and give it a good 2 to 4 weeks to really kind of change the way that your mind is thinking and what your subconscious beliefs are. Neville Goddard always taught the technique of state akin to sleep. He taught us that we should be taking those feelings of the wish fulfilled into sleep with us. This is actually priming your mind to get ready for that drift off to sleep. You're actually already thinking about the feelings that you want to have. You're feeling good about yourself. You have gratitude. And then you're also going to sleep knowing what you're going to do tomorrow to embody the version of yourself that you want to be today. Now, if you're new here and you haven't seen the rest of my series, this is part of my emotional intelligence series that I have been doing on my YouTube channel. The next video that I'll pop up to recommend for you is actually the first in that series. If you have not seen it, I definitely recommend that you go back and check it out. I think there is a true importance to understanding your own emotional regulation, and this process is going to help you connect to that emotional regulation. You're going to take into sleep the way that you want to feel. You're going to feel good about yourself and build natural ways of feeling gratitude. And that is what this is all about, right? Is learning how to rewire your brain so that you can create a life that you truly love. I would love to hear if you plan on doing the process or if you've already started it and you would like to share how it's going. And if you, of course, if you have any questions, by all means. If you have not already, make sure that you subscribe. You do not want to miss more of this content. And I definitely look forward to hearing how this works out for you.